What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson. As always, I'm joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Choops, how we doing, brother?
I'm doing good. You doing okay?
Good.
I know before we went live, you
Nope,
were
nope, nope, nope. We're just gonna
okay.
keep going. We're just
All
gonna keep
right.
going.
Sorry.
I finally got myself composed. You're just gonna ruin it now. Okay. Anyway, welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. As always, hit that QR code in the top left corner. Like, share, subscribe. Help us to run those numbers up. We've got some great videos that we've been putting out this week and getting a lot of great feedback and engagement. So we really appreciate you guys coming along with us on this ride.
Oh boy, tomorrow. My goodness, tomorrow.
Yeah.
You guys aren't ready for tomorrow. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to tell you Mr. Cincinnati is going to downplay a little bit, but tomorrow, you guys just watch. Just watch.
Yeah. I mean, we do have a very busy tomorrow. We have not one, not two, but 3 interviews dropping. A brand new Stump the Smart is coming as well. It is a very full content day. There will be no regular show tomorrow night at 6:30. We figure we're giving you guys all of this awesomeness that is the Wrestling Junkies podcast that we're going to take a night off. I think that's pretty fair.
That's right. I'm going on a date.
Ooh.
With my
what are we doing?
wife.
Where are we going?
I don't know. I haven't planned that far ahead.
Okay. All right. I kind of thought you would, have something.
I also lost my wedding ring today, so just a shout out to my wife. I still love you.
All right. I got to ask, how'd that happen?
Work. I just, I'm working, and then I look down all of a sudden, and I have no ring, and I don't know where it went. So,
well, okay.
There is that.
All right. Okay, he is not single, everybody, just because you don't see a ring on there anymore, because your camera's mirrored, so it's coming up as your right hand. But anyway, yeah, you want to talk some Dynamite? I don't know what that means.
You don't know what that means. Shut up.
I believe you said the same thing to me this week.
Shut up.
That or the overpriced jackass that we pay to be on the show Tuesday nights.
Whoa. Do not talk about Taco like that. He's a friendly fella.
Johnny is an overpaid jackass. Tully is the degenerate with a lot heart of gold.
Let's talk about Dynamite.
Dynamite coming from Daly's Place, first time in a couple of years that they've been there. That was their home during the pandemic. Just let's talk a little bit about the atmosphere before we get into the actual match results. It was nice to be back there. It felt like no time had passed since I've been watching Dynamite that came from Daly's Place, but then it also felt like a million years ago,
Did you see the video that they released?
The one after they left Daly's Place to go back on the road, that video with the Dirty Head song, or is there a new one?
Yeah, the one with the Dirty Head song.
Oh, yeah, Celebrate. Great album. I actually saw Dirty Heads live earlier this summer. It's a great time.
That's good. That's not what I was asking.
Yeah.
Did you see the video or not?
Yes, I saw the video.
Okay. That I thought that was a cool kind of perspective of where this company's been. How many seats is in that place? Like how many fans were in there last night? And you might not know off the top of your head. But that seems like a smaller venue, correct?
Yeah. It is. No, it definitely is. I mean, it seems like it's one of those ones that could also be like an amphitheater that they're probably only using part of. I don't know.
Smaller crowd was crazy. It sounded good. It looked good. Hey, maybe run some smaller venues.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I really, really wouldn't at this point. I mean, the thing, and who cares whether they do or not, honestly? Like, the thing is, I know that we see that as fans and think, oh my God, they're doing terrible or something's going on. Like, they've got the money to go run wherever they want. Like,
they sold out Wembley.
Yeah, they did. I know they did. I'm not going to be in the business of telling Tony Khan how to spend his money, but I think he should get a flip phone.
You sold out Wembley, so we know you can do it. But for your weekly television, you're not. So go to some smaller places. Might help your cost. Might raise some ticket prices. Might be a hot ticket to go to.
Sure.
I don't know. That just seems to make business sense, but I don't run the business, so I don't know anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. It did have a very.
Right.
Could we just once, just once, just once?
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. All I was gonna say is it definitely had a different feel with there being a crowd there. I don't know. This episode overall felt like a throwback to what we had been seeing during the pandemic era. So I'm gonna kick it over to you to kick things off. What's one of the first things that caught your eye about this episode of Dynamite this week?
Samoa Joe and Hook.
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate
it.
Do I think Hook's going to win? No, but there's a chance to kind of elevate Hook to more than that FTW champion.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how they book that match.
Yeah.
Because Samoa Joe could go in there and easily just squash him, or are they going to give Hook
could.
like a legitimate, I don't know, what would be a substantial match? 15 to 20 minute match? Or is that too long?
I was gonna say 10 to 12.
Okay.
Because I mean, and that's no disrespect to Hook. The thing with Hook again is we don't really see a whole lot of marathon matches out of him. Now I don't know if that's because of the quality of the opponent, or an intentional booking to make him look like a force. But it's going. I mean, yes, we know that Hook has a motor. Like his cardio's impeccable. However, it's Samoa Joe. Like it's not. It would not take him long, legitimately, to end that fight. So, for the purposes of a scripted television product, why would we? You know, I can't suspend my belief that far.
Yeah, and that's fair. I just think they have a good chance to let Hook have a great showing and kind of establish him to be, you know, more than just that lower mid card guy. And maybe we can see Hook go up the card a little bit with a great showing against Joe, or they just book Joe as like absolute killer. But I don't know how much that would do for Hook, and I don't know how much that would do for Joe at this point. Like I think they're in a tough position with Joe because if he has a competitive match, I think it's fine. But if Hook gets a ton of offense in, then you're like, well, Joe's a weak champion or something like that, which I don't believe. But I think that would be the not conception. What's the word I'm looking for?
Misconception?
Perception. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Man, words are tough.
Team effort today, though.
That would be the perception of Joe is, man, he went at it with Hook and struggled. Like,
yeah,
he's not as strong as the previous champions have been. Blah 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 blah. Like, I just think.
Yeah,
I like your 10 to 12 minute. I think that would be a good match, a good time, and I would hope that we get a clean finish. That's a worry for me.
I think that we will. I mean, and this might be one of those times where, you know, maybe let's not tap Hook out. That I probably would not do.
Pass out.
That'd be fine too. That'd be fine too. But yeah, certainly don't tap him in this situation if you're going to do it. I also think, man, I think it's time to get rid of the FTW title. It does nothing for anybody. It's just. Maybe that's where the rebuild of Hook begins, is getting rid of that title. I know it's, you know, it served the purpose when Team Taz was still a thing. Team Taz is no longer a thing.
It's a meaningless title. There's absolutely no reason for it to be on the program because it's not an AEW champion. It's not a Ring of Honor champion. It's literally an ECW champion that Taz created back in the 90s. That has not been relevant since Taz had it in the 90s. It doesn't need to be on TV at all.
One of these days, we'll get you to actually say the word championship.
No.
You tend to just stop right there.
I will never say it. Champ. Title. Never going to say it.
Okay. Anyway, well, again, I still believe... What?
Did you get a new water bottle?
Yeah.
See? I noticed things. Yeah. That's why I'm married, because I notice when you get a haircut. I notice when you get a water bottle. I'm a good husband.
Yes, I did get a new water
bottle. You can learn from me. You need to notice things as well, and that's how we're going to get you settled down. Yeah, even I couldn't say it. All right, right, get back on the rails. We gotta get
Yeah,
back on
this
the
is not
rails.
good podcasting. Anyway, yeah, no, I still think the FTW Championship served a purpose when Team Taz was a thing. You disagree. It is what it is. However, let's talk about the rest of the segment, though. There is still one more match in there between Swerve and Hangman, and I really, really want it.
I think we're getting a triple threat.
Fine. Okay, whatever. I still want I want just a one-on-one one more time.
Yeah, but I could see that for a champ, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship.
There you go.
When eventually I could see, if they do have a three-way, that's a way to get the title off of Joe. You could have Hangman win that and then Swerve get over Hangman, or have Swerve finally win it and then have the feud with Hangman for the title. I think it's tough to sell because Hangman is 0-2 against Swerve, and there's what would be Swerve's motivation to wrestle Hangman again? Like, dude, I've already proven it. Go away. I don't need to prove anything to you. And that's where
fair.
logic. I know that's where logic comes in. Is if I'm Swerve, dude, go away. I'm on to bigger and better things. I've already beaten you twice. I beat you definitively in the Texas Death Match. Like, I choked you out with a chain. Like, I'm good. I don't need to prove myself against you anymore. So I think if you throw a title in there, we will that makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a number one contendership match that they're even. I mean, because yes, again, you're saying I have no reason left to fight you, and let's talk about kind of the broader reason that Joe came out to do this promo in the first place. Apparently, first of all, there's an AEW Championship committee, and Samoa Joe had some suggestions as far as the records meaning things, and I mean, it's hard to tell whether this is something that was planned before Tony's true Twitter rant on Tuesday or not. That I don't know, but guess what? We now have to look at it through that lens. AEW has, I mean, they do a good job of keeping track of win-loss records. I don't think they update the rankings anymore the way that they used to, and they used to take those into consideration.
Like a year and a half.
Okay. Okay. So I was right. Thank you very much. So,
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just agreeing with you. Relax.
Okay.
Relax.
All right, I'll.
They should rename their company though the TCC. Tournaments, Championships, Committees. Because I mean, they got plenty of them. Like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this?
I don't know. I mean, there's a disciplinary committee. That one, I believe. I mean, but
like, did this come from did they join the NWA? Like, what's happening? Now they have a championship committee. That makes no sense. We have never heard of that in the 5 years AEW's been around.
I know. It's here to stay now, apparently, and I think that was just something that again, much like Vince would do and produce Michael Cole in his ear. That it would not surprise me if Tony Khan had something like that to have Joe go out and say to again, because everybody's criticizing him and saying, "Hey, save it for television." Bischoff was saying, "Yeah, I may have taken pot shots at Vince, but at least I did it on my show on camera and not behind my phone." So maybe this is another one of those just reactive sort of, simmer down. You may tell me to get off of Twitter and do whatever, but hey, this is still my TV show to produce, and this is what I'm going to do.
Can you imagine if social media was around when Bischoff gave spoilers to Raw?
Jesus.
Can you
world.
The firestorm that would have happened online would have been insane.
And yes,
Triple.
Kyle, we are triple duty. Yeah, we have an interview to record at 7 after this, and then we're going to be joining the World Elite podcast 8:30, 7:30 Central. So we got a busy night ahead, and
pretty sure I've seen Eric way more than I've seen my wife this week.
You definitely have.
See, Kyle, I appreciate the comment.
Yes.
I hated the rankings because they went for more of that sport aspect, which was fine. But when you have the rankings, you have to follow those rankings to a T, and they didn't always do that. And I think sometimes you would book yourself into a corner with those rankings. Like, say, somebody like an Abaddon, she would be number one all the time, and then we never saw her. Like, the rankings it was different, it was unique, but I think they weren't 100% committed to that, and it kind of just fell by the wayside, but they still kind of did it a little bit when it was convenient. It was that kind of, like, if it was strictly just always about the rankings, it would have been fine, but for me, in a scripted, you know, produced world, rankings are very hard.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I would agree that I enjoyed the sport aspect of AEW, or at least the attempt to want to bring it when they first started. But I mean, there's more that can be done with it, and they fell off, and now all of a sudden it matters when it didn't. Like you said, they haven't updated the rankings in a very long time. So we'll see if they actually get back to doing this at the end of every week. And I mean, it was also a lot easier when they only had Dynamite and only had Dark and Dark Elevate. But now it's going to be looking at Collision. And, you know, do we include Rampage? Do we include Ring of Honor? Like, those are also the questions that need to be asked, because there was a lot of crossover of Ring of Honor to AEW, not necessarily so much vice versa.
Yeah. 16 minutes in, and we only have spent time on the opening segment. What else did you like about Dynamite last night?
Let's see what I got here. I got a few things I got written down.
Did you like the appearance of New Jack last night?
Wait, what?
Well, I mean,
Did I
Chris
miss
Jericho.
that?
Chris Jericho
Oh.
is, well, New Jack's dead. So
God, I had a moment there. What? Wait. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, talk about a brain fart.
it's been a long week, guys. It's been a real long week.
It has been a long week. Wow.
But yes, Jericho
the
coming out,
Judas
and,
playing, and it just,
and Judas playing the entire time he was out there.
Yeah.
Was it to cover the booze?
Yes, most likely.
Is that sustainable?
We'll see how long it lasts.
Do you think he wrestles Saturday?
Didn't stop him at World's End. I don't see it stopping him here.
Like, but they have some time, and they've seen the reactions now a couple times. Like, do they do like a backstage segment and take him out? Like, do you think there's, because again, we still, it's funny because we know nothing.
Yeah.
This is a big story about kind of nothing right now, because we just don't know anything.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily call it a big story about nothing. It's more that there's a lot more that needs to be
That's fair.
investigated. We just don't have any facts to make any opinion as to anything related
details
to it.
about anything.
The thing is, I don't necessarily see anything changing, because I mean, look at how badly Tony Khan doubled down on Twitter just because USA Network got under his skin. I don't necessarily see any change to this tag team title match. There wasn't at World's End. I really don't think that there's going to be a Battle of the Belts. And let's be honest, even if you're watching Collision, are you really going to stick around for Battle of the Belts?
Of course.
When's the last time that you watched Battle of the Belts?
I watched the last one, actually. Because I remember
probably be shocked.
It was Luchasaurus and Archer, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
For the TNT Championship.
You tell me. I didn't watch it.
I was drunk. So I'm trying to remember. It was my going to sleep TV.
All right, Coach Satterfield.
So I think that was the match. I'm trying to remember what else. I don't remember what else. But no, like, can you believe this Battle of Belts 9?
I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's just a lot of AEW this week, just like it's getting a lot of Wrestling Junkies this week. But hey,
yeah,
we will keep your attention. Yeah, like Jericho has a Fozzy tour in February,
and the Rock and Rager at Sea at the end of the month.
Yeah, so I could see this kind of being his last time on TV for a bit, and maybe let things cool down, or blow over, or any details come out. Like, anybody can put a stop to this right now by one party saying no and one party saying yes, but nobody's saying anything. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. But again, I don't necessarily foresee any change to the card, because there wasn't at World's End, and that, I mean, people were pissed then. It's not going to be. I mean, I don't see that changing anytime soon. So
okay,
we'll just see where the chips fall with the May. Yeah.
Can I talk about one more thing with that match?
Okay, and then I'll talk about what also caught my eye.
Ricky Starks ate another pin.
He did.
You think he's out? He's losing a lot lately.
Maybe we see how Battle of the Belts goes.
Is that on Battle of the Belts or Rampage or Collision? That's on Collision.
Battle of the Belts.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Either way, the match is this weekend. Let's see how that plays out. If they lose these belts, then, and especially knowing that Jericho's got some Fozzy stuff going on, and they still win these belts, then maybe,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I don't know any details about his contract or when that might be up, but yeah, he's eating them pins.
I'm just saying, like they seem to have a lot of plans for him, like mid last year, and then it's kind of been downhill ever since. And since he's been on the social medias rolling around in the Performance Center,
and with Natty, it's been counting lights like Sesame Street.
Hey, we love that show. Hey, shout out to Elmo.
Yeah, you know what else that we need to shout out? Bang Bang Scissor Gang. That's a new tag team or new stable name, and I'm a big fan of that. I like where this is going. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and we're starting to see the slow mending of the fences between the Gunn family. It's entertaining as hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on the opposite side of the fence.
Let's hear it.
I think we're getting the same story we just got with MJF. The two rivals are now going to become friends, and they're going to take on the bigger, badder people. Like I think it's a rehash of the last story we just got.
Limited time only. We'll see what happens.
And that is why I will say, let's see what happens.
As always,
I kind of see the same story being told, and I kind of wanted this group to do something a little bit different than that. But like, we don't know when Adam Cole will be back. So again, this group just kind of feels like in flux. It is good to see these two together. I think I'd rather see these trios kind of go at it in like a three-way match.
Yeah.
But kind of blur the lines there, because you're going to have what, 6 on 4 if they all team up. So the numbers are odd, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the fence about it.
Yeah, I mean, whether we like it or not, we knew that they had to come to the conclusion on this Devil story. Like, they had to. That's just the situation that they were in. It was that there was no way to tease this out any longer. Mm-hmm. So they kind of have to work with what they got, and what they have, unfortunately, right now is the need to start this group, reveal the Devil to be Adam Cole, even though he's hurt right now. The fact that he's still on TV helps. I think that's the only thing that helps this group right now, is at least he can still sit in that chair, which, I mean, look at what The Miz did during the ACL tear just by sitting in a rolling scooter. Now, granted, that was pandemic era, and you could get away with a lot more back then than you can do in front of a live crowd, for sure. But at least the presence remains on television to try to give this group credibility from afar. I think that we're gonna find ourselves in a position where I do think, and I know that you will vehemently disagree with this, I think that they will find a way to rebuild Wardlow, because Adam Cole has already basically said, we are going to win the AEW World Championship. This could be the chance to finally rectify the mistakes of the first original babyface run of Wardlow. I'm going to give him another chance to do that.
Okay. I respectfully disagree, but
sure, of course.
You are allowed to have your opinions, and I'm allowed to have mine. Yeah. I think they have just totally missed the boat with Wardlow. I think Wardlow needs to go probably to another company to refresh, and I think he would be better, but where
would you like to see him if he's not in AEW?
I'd like to go see him on the Indies.
Okay.
Go out there, learn a new hold. Like, right now, you are just the big, strong power guy. What's your favorite Wardlow match?
I'm sure it's got MJF in it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, go out there, kind of grind a little bit, and come back even stronger, which I would like to see. But yeah, like I don't have the faith, because they've done so much stop and start with him that it's kind of like how you were with Punk. Like, I'm not gonna get involved again, because I know it's just gonna be that you're just gonna let me down. So,
but yet here I am.
I know. I look into your eyes.
What do you see?
I'm not going to say what I see, but you wanted to talk about the Mario Brothers returning last night?
Yeah. No, that's cool. I'm excited the Bucks are back, legit. I have no problem with this being Sting's final match. If that's the tease that we're getting, I am totally fine with this. I'm sure this Sting has a lot of input in it. Sting has been, I think, way more valuable to AEW than anybody could have expected that this run would go. So I think Tony's going to let him book his ending in his own way. I don't know whether that means he's going to lose in his final match yet, and I think I need to see how the build to this story goes first. But I would have no problem with Bucks taking on Sting and Darby at Revolution in the final match. No problem at all.
No, I don't either because it has to be a tag match.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought he died last night.
I think he's a little. Yeah, I think he's a little banged up. I heard, but.
Yeah, you did a scorpion death drop off the stage.
And then just kind of landed, ass first into that first table, and not a whole lot broke his fall there.
And you could tell, like, when Tony was in the ring with him, like, he was like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, I'm so happy this is almost done.
Yeah, it's like Danny Glover and Lethal Weapon. I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah, and he is. And good for him to kind of call it and go, I know my limitations, and I am happy that it will be a tag match because I don't need to see a one-on-one match with Sting. I don't think that would be well received, just because of his limitations right now. And it gives a great spotlight to Darby to kind of give him that rub of, hey, I was in Sting's final match. I helped Sting. Yeah, I helped him win in his final match or whatever it may be. I like the Bucks as an opponent because the Bucks and Darby are going to go all out for this.
Yeah,
and
I see what you did there.
I did. And my question for you, and as we end here,
of course,
is this a main event match?
I would say the odds are very good that this closes the show. I don't see how it doesn't. Whether that's the right decision or not remains to be seen. This match hasn't even been accepted yet. It's just the tease of it that we've gotten so far. So let's see where the build goes. But it's Sting's last match. I just don't see how it doesn't. How often do you get an opportunity like this where you've got an all-time great going out on his terms in your promotion one last time? Tony's going to roll out the red carpet for him on this one. My question for you is, do we see the creation of an AEW Hall of Fame and Sting as the first inductee this year as part of this?
I hope not.
Okay.
It's only 5 years in. Like I don't think enough time's passed to have an AEW Hall of Fame quite yet.
Okay.
And that's just me. I just
True.
And I don't think I would put Sting as your first nominee.
Okay. Really?
I think I would put a Moxley or a Kenny Omega before a Sting in your Hall of Fame. Because who meant more to your company in the long run? Like, yeah, Sting provided a great run, and it was awesome to see that legend go out like that. But, like, Mox has meant way more to that company. Kenny's meant way more to that company. Hell, Cody's meant way more to that company. You could even put Brodie Lee in there. I think Brodie has more of a legacy in that company right now than Sting. So that's where I would go over Sting. Not that he doesn't deserve it, but if I'm going first nominee ever, it's probably one of those three, or maybe even a Cody. I know that would get weird, but
yeah, a little bit.
The Young Bucks are up there as well as those kind of first inductees, but someone that has meant just a little bit more to that company in the long run.
Okay. Sound words from the podcast, Dad. Any final thoughts on AEW Homecoming?
I like the stage setup. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool environment. So
yeah,
I think I would prefer if they run smaller venues just because everything sounded so good and everything looked so good.
We'll see what they do in 2024. But as always, thanks so much, guys, for joining this episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Hit that QR code. Help us to run those numbers up. 3 interviews and a brand new Stump the Smart dropping tomorrow. We will be joining the World Elite podcast in about 90 minutes time. So we'll be tweeting out that link as we get started. Thank you guys so much for watching. For the podcast, Dad, I am Mr. Cincinnati. This has been a brand new episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We'll talk to you guys soon.